Every time you've defended yourself, fought back, or braced for impact, what if that exact move was what kept the threat alive in the first place? Stay with us, because there's a guided meditation at the end that might actually let you put it down. Here's the claim we're going to sit with today, and I want to say it plainly so you know what you're getting into. Defending yourself against something you fear doesn't protect you from it. It manufactures it. The wall you're building, the counterargument you're rehearsing, the bracing in your shoulders right now, that's not a response to the threat. That is the threat in the form your mind can recognize. And if we can see that clearly, even for a moment, we get a real choice: keep feeding the thing we're afraid of, or lay down the armor and find out there was almost nothing underneath it. Let me give you a scene you'll recognize. A colleague sends you an email. 2 lines. No greeting, no context, no warmth. Just, can you explain the delay on the report? Need to know by end of day. That's it. And within 30 seconds, something in you goes hot. You feel it in your jaw first, maybe your stomach, and your mind, your brilliant, protective mind, immediately gets to work. You start composing a reply. Not out loud. In your head, and it is a masterpiece. It's professional. It's airtight. It cites 3 previous emails where you flagged the delay. It has the perfect tone, cool, unbothered, but with just enough edge that they'll know. You revise it. You run it back. You imagine their face when they read it. You imagine your manager reading it. 2 hours go by. You haven't sent anything. You're still fighting. Notice what actually happened there. The email is sitting in your inbox. It's doing nothing. It's pixels on a screen. But inside your chest, a full war room has been activated, staffed entirely by you, burning your energy, running scenarios, drafting responses to responses that haven't been sent to a fight that hasn't happened. Who started that war? Not the colleague. 2 sentences don't start a war. You did. Your defense did. And this is the pattern the lesson is pointing at. Every act of defense confirms that there's something to defend against. Every rehearsed counterargument builds the enemy it's arguing with. Every brace against impact makes the impact real in your body before anything has even landed. We think we're protecting ourselves. We're actually constructing the exact thing we're afraid of, brick by brick, and then living inside it. And it's not just work emails. It's the conversation with your partner you've been pre-litigating in the shower. It's the imagined confrontation with your mother where you finally say the thing. It's the way you walk into a room already scanning for who might judge you. And then, of course, you find them. Your defense set him up. Here's the image I want you to hold. Imagine your arm wrestling a shadow on the wall. The shadow is enormous, monstrous. Actually, it has claws, and you are pushing against it with everything you've got. Your arm is shaking. You're sweating, and the harder you push, the bigger the shadow grows. It rears up. It looks like it's going to swallow you, and then, for some reason, you glance down, and you see that the shadow is being cast by your own arm. The shape on the wall is huge because your arm is flexed. The threat is enormous because you are pushing so hard against it. The second you relax, just soften the arm, the monstrous shape on the wall shrinks. Not because you defeated it. Because you stopped feeding it. That's what's happening in the war room. The colleague's email is a hand on the wall. Your defense is what turned it into a monster. And you've been arm wrestling that monster for 2 hours, wondering why you're exhausted. Now here's the strange part, the part that takes a minute to really land. We don't just tolerate this pattern. We worship it. Somewhere along the way, we started treating our defensiveness as sacred, as the thing that keeps us safe. The sharp inner voice, the readiness to fight, the harshness we turn on ourselves and others, we call it discipline, or realism, or just being smart about people. We've built an idol out of it, and we lay our peace on its altar every single day. We sacrifice hours of our life, actual moments with actual people we love, to keep this idol fed. And here's what the lesson invites us to notice. Coolly, without drama, the idol is made of stone. It has no power. It's never once actually protected us from anything. The colleague's email was going to be whatever it was. The conversation was going to go how it went. The 2 hours in the war room didn't change the outcome by a single degree. They just cost us the 2 hours. The cruelty we've been calling protection, the harshness toward ourselves, the preemptive attack, the armored heart, it's a piece of carved stone we've been treating like a god. That's the turn. That's the thing that, once you see it, you can't quite unsee. So what do you do with this? Not much. Honestly, that's the good news. You don't have to overhaul your personality. You don't have to become a person who never gets triggered by a terse email. That's not the goal. And honestly, it's not possible. The practice is much smaller. It's just, catch the war room in the moment it activates. The email lands. The heat rises. The mind starts drafting, and instead of riding that wave for 2 hours, you pause, just for a second, and you notice, oh, the war room just opened. I'm doing it again. I'm arm wrestling the shadow. You don't have to make the feeling go away. You don't have to forgive the colleague. You don't have to pretend the email was fine. You just notice that the war being fought inside your chest is costing you infinitely more than the actual event ever could. And in that noticing, something loosens. The arm relaxes, just a little. The shadow shrinks, just a little. And here's what people don't tell you. What's left when you stop fighting isn't vulnerability. It isn't weakness. It's not you standing exposed and defenseless while the world takes shots at you. That's the fear talking. What's actually left is something steadier, lighter, a kind of quiet that the fighting never once produced, no matter how well crafted the imaginary reply was. The war inside you goes quiet not because you won it, but because you noticed there was no one on the other side. There never was. The enemy was the defense. The threat was the bracing. And when the bracing stops, the threat stops with it, because they were the same thing wearing two costumes. This is what the lesson is offering. Underneath all the language, a way out of a war you didn't know you'd been fighting your whole life. Not a bigger sword. Not better armor, just the recognition that the sword and the armor were what made the war real in the first place. So when you leave this video and go back to your day, and the next terse email lands, or the next tense silence happens, or the next replay starts running in your head, see if you can catch it. Just once today. See the war room open, and instead of walking in and taking your seat at the table, just notice. That's all. And now, if you'll stay with us a few more minutes, let's actually let some of this settle in the body. Because understanding it is one thing. Feeling the arm relax is another. If you want to keep practicing with us, you can like the video and subscribe. Let's take a moment now to let this settle with a guided meditation. Let's take a few minutes to let this settle. Find a position where your body can be still. Feet on the floor, or however you're sitting. Let your shoulders drop a little, just a little. And take a breath. Not a special breath, just the next one. Notice what your body is doing right now. Notice if there's any bracing. Any place that's holding on. The jaw, maybe. The shoulders. The stomach. You don't have to change it, just see it. And now let yourself remember, gently, the shadow on the wall. The arm pushing. The monstrous shape that grew the harder you pushed, and let your arm rest. Not in defeat. Just in rest. Feel what happens when you stop pushing against something inside you, even for a moment. There might be a conversation you've been rehearsing, a person you've been arguing with in your mind, a situation you've been bracing for. Let it be there. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to resolve it. Just for these next few breaths. You're not in the war room. Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice the space around you. The temperature of the air. The small sounds you didn't notice before. This is what's here when the fighting quiets. It was here the whole time. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to become someone different to have it. You just have to stop pushing for a moment and feel the shape on the wall shrink back into what it always was. Breathe. Let the harshness soften. The one turned outward and the one turned inward, they're the same. And they can rest now. Nothing to defend, nothing to attack. Just this breath. And this one. When you're ready, let your eyes open. Slowly. No rush, and carry a little of this quiet with you into whatever comes next. Thank you for being here and practicing together. If you'd like, you can find a free digital ACIM resource in the description. And if you want to mark the moment, a simple comment such as, "I am grateful," is welcome. Thank you for being here. For staying with something that isn't always easy to look at. If you noticed even a small loosening today, somewhere in the shoulders, somewhere in the chest, that's real. And it matters. Be gentle with yourself as you go back into your day. The war room will open again. It always does. And now you know how to notice. That's enough. Take care of yourself.